Okay, my friends, so let's click over to this next tab down here, two main parties proportional. Now, it's going to look similar to the other tab, but there's some slight differences here. The states are the same, the number of total electoral votes is the same, and the popular vote count per state is the same. Also, what's the same is how many individual popular votes each of the two main candidates got, Hillary and Donald. The difference is what I've done here is I've set up an alternative way to run the Electoral College. The Electoral College was created by the founders, hundreds of years ago, but they didn't describe exactly how to set it up. The way it currently runs today is just how we've decided to run it for the past couple hundred years. I've floated an idea. Instead of a winner-take-all system, like we just looked at and like what is currently used, we assign proportional electoral votes. Let me show you what I mean. So, looking at Alabama again. In 2016, Hillary Clinton got that many popular votes in Alabama, and Donald Trump got that many popular votes in Alabama. Now, under the current rules of electoral vote allocation in Alabama, Trump gets all 9. But what I propose is, that throws away, you may have heard this phrase, throwing away a blue vote in Alabama. Oregon is often the same way too. Oregon, it's often throwing away a red vote in Oregon because Oregon is one of those states that, generally speaking, goes democratically. Alabama is one of those states that, generally speaking, goes Republican. But why does that have to be? Why does that have to be? Why not break up the electoral votes proportionally? So here's what I suggested we do. Let's figure out what percent of the total Hillary got, and then give her that percent of the 9 electoral votes. Now, I used the spreadsheet to do this, and I want you to kind of look at the formula so you understand. That 34% that's right there, that means Hillary Clinton got 34% of the popular votes in Alabama. How did I do that? Well, if you look at the formula up here, I took the number in cell D4, which is the 729,000, and I divided it by the total number of popular votes in cell C4. I don't actually type those numbers. I simply do equals, then I click on D4, and then I hit a divide by symbol, and then I click on C4, and then I press enter. And it tells me 34%. And I do that all the way down for Hillary, and there's all the percentages of all the states she got. And I did the same thing. Let's skip over to Trump too. Did the exact same thing over here to Trump. Exactly the same thing. So I took his popular vote share divided by the total number of popular votes. So you can see G4 divided by C4 is that formula up in the top left corner there. Okay, so those are the percentages of the popular votes the candidates got. Great. How do you decide which electoral votes to give to whom? Well, you just take that percentage of that total. And the way I did that, you can click in the cell and see it. I did E4, which is the percentage, times B4, which is the electoral votes. That's for Hillary. So you take 34% of 9, and that's 3.1, so she would get 3.1 electoral votes. Trump, you'd take 62%, or H4, of 9, which is also B4, and press enter. And then that's what I copied all the way down, so you'll see all those. And you can see there were no states where either candidate got all of the electoral votes in that state, because there are always going to be folks that are Democratic in a quote-unquote red state and folks that are conservative in a quote-unquote blue state. What you're going to do now is you're going to total up the proportional electoral votes and see what happens.